Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Oxhorn, and today I've got a special video on one of my favorite NPCs in the game, the Mariner. This is a profile on the Mariner, her entire story, and her relationship with the town of Far Harbor. When you get to Far Harbor, you find almost all of the residents pretty hostile towards you. Even the Mariner treats you with a little suspicion and talks to you in a brusque manner. She's frustrated. She used to own this dock, but as the fog started to encroach further and further into the mainland, it pushed the residents of Far Harbor onto the docks.
But when the island pushed them onto my dock, one by one, the ungrateful bastards expect me to look after my land, even though they're squatting on it like wretches.
Even though the Mariner complains about the residents of Far Harbor, for some reason she still allows them to set up camp on her docks. She still feels the responsibility of the place, though, and she needs your help outfitting them to better defend the townspeople from attacks from trappers and creatures of the island. In this effort, she approaches you to help.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to lend a hand.
The first of her many tasks is to send you to a nearby tannery where she says you can find some tools. After clearing the place of trappers and ghouls, you find the tools, and as you leave, you're approached by a man who offers you 2,000 caps for the tools.
Oh, Mariner sent you, didn't she? No matter what she's offering, it's nothing. Serious builders would give an arm for them tools. I'll pay you 2,000 caps right here, right now. Deal?
If you sell them, you can't complete any more quests with the Mariner, and you miss out on the rest of her story. If you come back a day later, you'll notice that the tools have been put to good work. The Mariner has placed a bunch of sharpened spikes around the outside perimeter of the town, fortifying the defenses. But your job isn't done. She's got another task for you.
A cargo freighter foundered ages ago, to the south. With a bit of arc welding and some elbow grease, the hull could be reinforced to be sturdy. Fierce.
If you go through her dialogue options, you discover that she's dealing with some hard news.
Doc Teddy? Well, I have a condition. Terminal. No cure. Even in the old days, plenty of diseases were never beat. And this, well, Teddy sent word to some mainland doctors, with my charts and all. Only heard back regrets. Hard to get that out. When I take the long walk, I can't count on anyone else keeping the hull in good repair. So, it's best to get her ready before then.
It starts to make a little bit more sense. A woman as proud as this is not likely to share her land with anyone unless she doesn't expect to live very long. But she doesn't like talking about it.
I ain't some porcelain doll, mainlander. I plan on going down fighting. So can we talk about the damn job?
If you go to the shipwreck, you can clear the place of trappers, and when you return, she expresses her gratitude and says that she'll quickly go and harvest the scrap metal to help fortify the town. She seems to be warming up to you. You are the only person she's told about her sickness.
Listen, I haven't told no one except the doc about my condition. If your offer of help is still open, I could use some advice. I'm thinking of casting off once the hull's done. Slip out in the middle of the night. But as much as these ingrates drive me to distraction, for the life of me, I don't know why I even told you in the first place.
Your friends would want to help you. Spend time with you before the end.
You don't know my friends very well. You've been of help. I won't forget it.
If you come back the next day, you see that she's put the scrap metal to good use. You find bits and pieces of the hull strapped to the outside of the town, reinforcing the shoddy plywood fencing that's already there. You can go back to check on her to see how she's holding up.
So many dead from the fog, crabs, or whatever. And I just keep wondering how many good weeks I have left. 3, 4, 2. Things that used to bring me joy taste like ash. I remember the way things were. Before the news, I was powerful close to tossing the whole lot off my docks. But afterward, there weren't no point in defending my land. Let 'em come, I guess. And now watching them all squabble instead of lending a hand? Hell, a single finger to help. Don't they realize that all the bickering for just a little bit more is a waste of breath? Figured I'd bequeath my land to everyone. I think we've lived alone on this island too long. With some common land, maybe a real community can be formed. Even if they have to be drug into it. You've been a real friend through this. If you're willing to see it to the end, the Mirelurks on our islands have carapaces that are extra tough. So you gather up a bunch of the carapaces and lug them back here. Then I'll reinforce the town as best as I'm able. Well, gotta get to work.
The carapaces are fairly easy to get, all you need is 3. And once you deliver them to the Mariner, she uses them to reinforce the outside of the hull. I'm not exactly sure how 3 Mirelurk carapaces positioned in such a way would protect the hull, but I'm sure it's helping somehow. And that does it, you've finished all optional quests with her. But if you go back to see how she's doing, she confides in you that something has been bothering her ever since she was a little girl.
The Red Death. May have heard of it. The big monster lives beneath the waves. Only strikes when the fog is thick. People think it's some drunken sailor's tale. But no one goes sailing when there's a fog on. In their bones, they know there's something out there. When I was a little one, I went sailing with my aunt. Fog rolled in thick and fast, and we saw it. Glowing red, crimson, an unholy light that stretched to the sky. My aunt was no fool. We rowed to shore with all our might. Tide made it hard, but we hit landfall. I seek to end this unholy terror. Dozens of boats over the long years been claimed by it. I mean to hunt this Red Death. Are you with me?
Count me in.
Bring whatever weapons of death and mass destruction you got.
The two of you immediately embark to take care of the Red Menace. The townspeople know well the reputation of the Red Menace, and Captain Avery, who doesn't like to lose a soul, tries to talk you out of it.
We need you. Please, turn back.
The hull's strong, and one more rifle won't make a difference.
The boat takes you to the far southwest corner of the island. But once you arrive, you seem to be over-prepared.
It can't be. That's the Red Death?
Think we can handle it? We could always call in the Marines.
Oh, ha ha.
The Mariner, by this point, is leaning on you to help her make some of the last decisions she will make in her life.
What do we say to all the folk back home? I meant this to be my last great adventure. Instead, if we tell the folk back at town, I'll be a laughingstock.
You have 2 choices. The first option is to embellish the story of the Red Menace and tell the townspeople of Far Harbor that it was quite a monster.
Make it the stuff of legends.
I have little stomach for it. But it's better than the alternative. Let's go. I thought I got this for you to celebrate. I didn't think it would turn out like this.
If you do, the townspeople cheer you as a hero.
They're here. They're back.
Did you find it? Did you end the scourge of the seas?
So, we set sail. It was a terrible fight.
So you killed it?
Oh yes, we did at that. It was quite the sight.
Did you hear? They did it! The Red Death's no more.
But the Mariner is clearly disappointed, and she doesn't really like the fact that she had to lie.
Seems like the end of the road. Every time we've talked, you've given me a lot to think about. Might be time to come clean. Tell the others about my condition. But after the lies, it makes the decision even harder.
The other option is to tell the disappointing truth.
It never pays to lie.
Easy for you to say. You don't have to live with those louts. Ugh.
And if you do that, the Mariner gets jeered by the townspeople when she returns.
So, how big are we talking?
A bit bigger than a dog.
A dog? The Red Death is a tiny little crab?
Oh, well then. I'm glad you brought the mainlander. Otherwise, you'd be dead for sure.
You need a mini nuke? Or 3? Big game.
I knew it.
That's not quite the legacy she wanted to leave for herself.
But now all they'll say is what a fool I am. After all I've done.
So which is the best option? Well, neither option has any effect really, in the game. You still get the same gear, and you still get to complete all of the quests. Telling the truth is certainly the more honest option, but the town of Far Harbor is a superstitious place. They live on legends, especially legends of the sea. They already deeply respect the mariner, and it seems a shame to harm that respect. Personally, I don't see too much of a big deal about embellishing the truth a little bit. At least this way she becomes even more of a legendary figure in the history of Far Harbor.
I mean, at the end of it all, what's worth doing in your final days? What's worth leaving behind?
Do what you can to leave a legacy. Something to be remembered by.
I like the sound of that. No matter what happens, or what goes down, you were a true friend.
So what is her fate? Well, despite all her talk about a terminal illness, she never dies. I waited weeks. I think I waited 3 weeks solid, and came back and she was still there. There's also no option to cure her. The mysterious serum that you get from doing the Cabot House line of quests can cure the sick man in the doctor's house, but there's no option to use this serum on the mariner. So we don't know if the serum could ever cure her. I guess we're just left with the understanding that she could die at any moment. But at least now she'll die as the savior of Far Harbor, the benefactor who gave her land to help people in need, who fortified the harbor when no one else would, and who slew the Red Menace, that, despite how insignificant the monster ended up being, did lead to the demise of many innocent people. And Far Harbor is a safer place now that it's gone. I, for one, am glad that we didn't have to witness the death of the mariner. We know she will die soon, but at least we can visit with her whenever we come to Far Harbor until she does.
Look at all we've done to the harbor. I finally feel safe.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked this short profile on the Mariner, please subscribe for more Fallout 4 lore content and profiles like this. I'm going to be doing more NPC profiles and profiles on companies, as well as more lore videos, so subscribe for more content like this. And if you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I read every single one of them and respond to the best ones. And stay tuned for tomorrow because I release a new video every single day. Until next time, thanks for watching.